I never imagined that at 72 years old, I'd be lying in a hospital bed in Miami. The humid air thick with the scent of antiseptic and ocean salt drifting through the cracked window, pretending to be in a coma, just to overhear my own son whisper the words that shattered what little faith I had left in family. This is the last breath you'll ever take, old man. Time for the real children to collect what's ours. He said it with such cold certainty, like he was discussing the weather, while his fingers hovered over my foreline, ready to end it all for a slice of the empire I'd built from nothing. But let's rewind, because this story isn't just about betrayal. It's about the slow burn of realization, the kind that turns a father's love into something sharper, more unforgiving. If you've ever felt the sting of someone you trusted turning their back on you for money, or if you've dreamed of that perfect moment when justice swings back hard, then stick around. This one's going to hit you right in the gut. Before we dive in, hit that subscribe button if you're into real-life tales of revenge that feel like they jumped straight out of a thriller novel. And don't forget to smash the like button. Let's get this video to the algorithm gods. Drop a comment below. What's the worst betrayal you've ever heard of? And tell me, which city are you tuning in from today? All right, let's get into it. My name is Edward Ramirez, but everyone calls me Eddie. Born in a cramped apartment in Little Havana back in 1953, I grew up watching my parents scrape by on factory wages, dreaming of something bigger. By 25, I was flipping my first property, a rundown shack on the edge of the Everglades, that I turned into a cozy starter home for a young couple. That was the spark. Over the next 47 years, I built Ramirez Luxury Homes into a powerhouse, transforming worthless swampland and foreclosed eyesores into sprawling oceanfront mansions that drew in celebrities, tech moguls, and anyone with deep pockets. We're talking homes with infinity pools overlooking Biscayne Bay, private helipads, and wine cellars that could stock a small vineyard. The company wasn't just a business. It was my legacy, poured from sweat and sleepless nights. I married Sophia in 1981, the love of my life. A fierce woman with a laugh that could light up the darkest room. She was my rock through the booms and busts, raising our two kids while I chased deals from Key West to Palm Beach. Marcus, our firstborn at 41 now, was always the star, tall, charismatic, with that Harvard MBA gleam in his eye. He could charm a room full of investors without breaking a sweat. Always knew the right tie to wear to a gala. The perfect anecdote to seal a partnership. I groomed him for the top, handing him vice president roles, trusting him with multi-million-dollar projects. Then there was Isabella, 38, quieter, more introspective. She had Sophia's artistic soul, sketching designs that could have fit right into our blueprints if she'd wanted. But she chose her own path, moving to Seattle after college to become a graphic designer, building a life on her terms without ever dipping into the family coffers. I admired that independence. It reminded me of my younger self, hustling without a safety net. Sophia passed 5 years ago from cancer, a battle that gutted us all, leaving a void I filled with work. The kids rallied around me then, or so I thought. Marcus stepped up, handling more at the company, while Isabella called every week, her voice a steady anchor from across the country. Life settled into a rhythm, board meetings, site visits, the occasional golf game with old clients. Until July 12, 2025, it started as a tightness in my chest. During a routine inspection at a new build in South Beach, I brushed it off as indigestion from the Cuban sandwich I'd grabbed for lunch. But by evening, it was a vice grip. Sophia's voice echoed in my head. "Take care of yourself, Eddie," as I collapsed in the living room, phone slipping from my hand. Paramedics rushed me to Miami General, lights flashing against the palm trees lining the streets. Triple bypass, the doctors said. My arteries clogged from years of stress and late-night cigars. Recovery would be brutal. Weeks in the cardiac ICU. Constant monitoring. A cocktail of meds that left me foggy but alive. The room was sterile white. Beeps from machines a constant soundtrack. The faint hum of air conditioning battling the Florida heat. Marcus and his wife Lauren were there from day one. Flowers piling up on the windowsill. Exotic orchids that must have cost a fortune. Expensive coffees from that artisanal spot downtown. Long talks about the company's future. At first, it warmed me, seeing my son so involved. Lauren by his side with her polished smile and designer handbag. She'd married into the family 10 years back, a sharp real estate agent who'd helped close some of our biggest deals. They seemed the perfect power couple, always jetting off to conferences in Vegas or New York. But as the days blurred, their questions sharpened like knives. Dad, where's the original buy-sell agreement kept? The one from the 90s expansion? Who has access to the offshore trust in the Caymans? Have you updated the succession plan since? The latest valuation report came in last quarter. It started innocently enough, tucked into conversations about my health. How are you feeling today, Dad? Oh, and by the way, but the persistence gnawed at me. I'd catch Lauren jotting notes on her phone, her eyes flicking to Marcus with that knowing glance. Isabella, meanwhile, flew in twice. Her visits quiet and genuine, bringing sketches she'd done of Miami skylines, talking about memories instead of money. She never probed, just held my hand and promised to handle whatever I needed from afar. By the fifth day, paranoia set in, or maybe it was instinct, honed from decades of spotting bad deals. I started pretending to sleep more, letting my eyelids droop during visits, breathing slow and steady like the meds had knocked me out. It was a game at first, a way to rest without the small talk. But on the eighth night, around 2:40 a.m., the door creaked open softly, footsteps padding across the linoleum. I kept my eyes shut, body limp, but my mind raced. It was Marcus alone, his cologne, a sharp citrus blend, giving him away before his shadow fell over the bed. He stood there for what felt like eternity, just breathing, the weight of his presence heavy in the dim glow of the monitors. Then he leaned down, his breath hot against my ear, and whispered those words that froze my blood. You were supposed to die on the table. You stubborn bastard. We've been carrying you for years. The company is worth $87 million now. Lauren and I already have buyers lined up in Dubai. One more week, and we're done pretending. The rage hit me like a wave crashing on South Beach, burning through the morphine haze, but I didn't flinch. My heart pounded, but I forced my breaths even, playing the part of the comatose old man while every word seared into my memory. He thought I was gone, vulnerable, and in that moment, he revealed the monster beneath the charm. His fingers brushed the four-line, slow and methodical, like he was adjusting a tie before a big meeting. I felt the slight tug, knew he was trying to introduce an air bubble, silent, deadly, untraceable in a man my age post-surgery. The beeps quickened slightly, but he didn't notice, too focused on his plan. That's when the door swung open again. The night shift nurse, Maria, entering for her routine check. Her footsteps were brisk, efficient, the squeak of her shoes a lifeline. Marcus jumped back like he'd been electrocuted, his hand snapping away from the line, face flushing in the hallway light spilling in. "What are you doing here so late, Mr. Ramirez?" she asked, her voice calm but edged with suspicion as she glanced at the monitors. "Just checking on Dad," he stammered, that Harvard polish cracking under pressure. "He looks a bit off. Thought I'd adjust his pillow." Maria, bless her, didn't buy it fully. She was in her 50s, with years of experience spotting odd family dynamics in these wards. She checked the four, noted the slight looseness, and reset everything while Marcus fidgeted by the door. After he left, mumbling excuses, she lingered, adjusting my blankets. "Mr. Ramirez, if you're awake, squeeze my hand," she whispered. I did, just once, and her eyes widened. "We need to talk." That night changed everything. With Maria's help, smuggling in a burner phone from her locker, I called my estate attorney, Victor Hale, a grizzled vet who'd handled my affairs for 30 years. It was 3 a.m., but he picked up on the second ring. "Eddie, what's wrong? Hospital at this hour can't be good. I need you here now, Victor. Emergency changes to the will, the trusts, everything. And bring the paperwork for the company's succession. No questions yet, just get here." He arrived by dawn, disguised in scrubs Maria lent him, slipping past security as a consulting specialist. In the quiet hours before rounds, I laid it all out, the whisper, the tampering, the Dubai buyers. Victor's face hardened, pen flying across legal pads. "This is attempted murder, Eddie. But first, let's lock down your assets." We rewrote it all. Marcus and Lauren, out completely. No shares, no trusts, no inheritance. Isabella got it all, 100% beneficiary. Immediate successor to the CEO, chair if anything happened to me. We added clauses voiding any unauthorized deals. especially those offshore ones Marcus had hinted at. By 7 a.m., it was signed, notarized remotely via video with Victor's partner, and filed electronically. Marcus wouldn't know until it was too late. That afternoon, he returned with his perfect smile, a new Rolex dangling from his wrist, a gift for you, Dad, to mark your recovery. He talked for 20 minutes about how much he loved me, how the company needed my guidance, all while Lauren nodded along, her eyes scanning the room like she owned it already. I let him ramble, building the tension, my heart steady now with the knowledge of what I'd done. Then I opened my eyes, fixed them on him, and said calmly, I heard every word last night, Iho. The cameras heard it too. His face drained of color, turning the shade of wet cement on a rainy Miami day. What? Dad? You must have been dreaming. The meds. No, Marcus. I quoted him back, word for word. You were supposed to die on the table. We've been carrying you for years. 87 million. Dubai buyers. He staggered back, Lauren's hand flying to her mouth. I pressed the call button, and Maria entered with security. The hospital's CCTV footage already pulled, showing his late-night visit. The tampering. The police were called, statements taken. But the real revenge? 2 weeks later, with me recovering at home overlooking the bay, the company sold for 91 million. Cash to a consortium that valued its ethics as much as its profits. Isabella moved back to Miami, took over the foundation Sophia and I had started for affordable housing, and in 1 year, she's done more good, building homes for families like the one I grew up in than Marcus ever dreamed of in his greedy schemes. Marcus and Lauren? Last I heard, they're fighting foreclosure on their $4.2 million house in Coconut Grove. The Dubai buyers ghosting them the moment the real succession plan hit the wires. Family isn't about blood. It's about who shows up when they think you're already gone. If this story fired you up, give it a like. Subscribe for more epic revenge tales. And let me know in the comments, what would you have done in my shoes? See you in the next one.